Okay, so I have a basic question about romantic love and unconditional love. If unconditional love is sort of the whole answer to
Everything.
everything, right? You know, freedom from suffering, liberation, all that kind of stuff. There's a couple things about romantic love or desire that seem inherently problematic. There's the whole
Like, they don't work. But next.
okay,
Yeah, okay.
so is that really just it then? Because the
It's not meant to work. Pleasure is not supposed to be forever, nor is pain. Romantic love is very much based on pleasure, getting something from someone, giving something back. There's two things involved, two people or more or something like that, you know. But it's a finite thing from one person to another. When I was very much in love with this woman once, I was telling my Indian father about this, and he said to me, my boy, he said, relationships are business. Do your business, enjoy. He said, do your business. Be a human being and enjoy it. Enjoy. But love, he said, love lasts 24 hours a day, every day, since the beginning of time. Love is who we are. It's not between people. It's who we are. Now, because we don't know what that is being born in the West, unconditional love, or the love that isn't love of an object or desire for an object, we try to substitute with other things, like we've been taught to do since day one in this culture, in this world. And the only problem is it doesn't work. But it's not supposed to work. And if you don't expect it to work in a way that it's not meant to, you can be very happy. But it's the expectations that we have for romantic love that are unreasonable. How can somebody be who you want them to be when they already are who they are? You don't see the person who they are. You don't see all of them. You only see the part that you want. And then you force that person to give you what you want, to show you the shape you need to see.
right, we've talked about it as a sort of a tit for tat kind of thing, a negotiation.
Business.
Yeah.
And it's fine. That's what human beings do. That's what we all do. And it's fine as long as you know you're playing the game. When you forget that you're playing the game or doing business and expect it to give eternal happiness, there's bound to be problems.
So perhaps then, just to put it succinctly, that I can understand it. That I can understand it. Basically, that desire by nature is fleeting, including that of sexual desire.
No, desire is almost
desire.
never. It doesn't go away.
It's insatiable.
It's insatiable. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the nature of desire. You can never satisfy. It goes from one to the other. So that's why the Buddha said all suffering comes from craving.
Right.
Give up craving. Give up. You want it.
So should we all be nuns and monks?
No. We should keep grabbing everything we can until we're just tired of it. And then you grab, but you don't expect it to be anything but that.
Okay.
But then other things can happen. If you're not expecting somebody to provide certain things, then you can kind of see the person for who they are. And a whole different level of intimacy can open up in there.
Well, that leads to my next question is, what if you're not attracted to someone, but they treat you well?
Take them for all you can get. Obviously.
And what if you're the object of a lot of attraction, meaning that you attract a lot of elements, like a lot of sexual energy? For example, a problem that I've had is that a lot of people seem to say I have a lot of Shakti, or they have, some version of that, or whatever that means to people. I don't know. I think it varies. And I just think I get a lot of unwanted attention and not a lot of attention about what's beneath the surface. And I don't know if there's any way that I can transform that, or it's just sort of, case-by-case basis.
Other people's business is other people's business. It's the same for me. I sit there and people project onto me. They can do that. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't identify with that because I went through a lot of stuff about that, and finally I broke through into a place where I no longer, it's just kind of like rainwater off of me. It doesn't, by Maharaji's grace. So you have to find who you are in a deeper way to yourself. And then the effect of how other people see you, whether it's positive or negative, it won't push those buttons. It won't be something that's pleasurable or painful or desirable or undesirable. But it has to do with how you see yourself as well. You know. It's a question of going deeper yourself, and finding out more about yourself, who you are, and what's in there. And then it becomes irrelevant what people project onto us.
So is the desire for relationship, which exists, meaning that, you know, I still have, this is the earlier part of the question, I still have a desire to be in a relationship,
Sure.
hopefully a partnership. Is that, you know, how does that then square with this business of...
As long as you don't expect it to make you happy, it should be great.
Right.
How can we help but do that, right? That's the predicament, that we're programmed with that romance thing. And we want to fall in that love that we never fall out of. So that after you've fallen in the love that you never fall out of 300 or 400 times, you know, you kind of get over trying to make that happen, or even to look for that. And then you can begin to have a relationship that's based on some kind of reality.
With yourself.
No, with another person, of course.
Okay.
But you can't you can't be with another person more than you can be with yourself, or less. As much as you can be with yourself, and the quieter you are inside, the more you can be available to another human being. The more available you really are to yourself. So one has to work through different issues that they have that are propelling us and our minds and our stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. One has to clean that stuff up. If one wants to meet another person, there's no room in there for anybody. You know, if you want to invite somebody into your home, you have to clean it up a little bit. Otherwise, there's no place for them to sit. So the issues that you're seeing on the outside are really on the inside. If there is an inside and outside. They're your issues. They're not the issues of other people. And if you recognize that, then you can start to work with them in a new way by accepting yourself as you are, with all the stuff, and then giving it space and letting go of the stuff that keeps arising that causes you suffering inside. And you get into deeper aspects of longing, you know. I always saw myself as one of these Tibetan yogis with his hot shakti on his lap, all this stuff. Right? I thought it was, wow, that's where it's at, Yeah. And then I read somewhere that this other sect of Tibetans kind of feel bad for those guys because they need a shakti to get into that bliss. It totally twisted my mind around, because I always thought, wow, that's the thing. And then I said, these guys feel sorry for those guys because they need somebody on their lap in order to get it. It turns out it's not quite that black and white, but the idea was that it went, I wheeled around. So, relationships are hard work, and I think they're the best work that we can do as human beings. Because first of all, we're in relationship to everyone and everything.
Right.
The kind of relationship you're talking about, you really get down to the nitty-gritty, It's not easy. It's not easy to surrender to how much stuff we're carrying, But once you do, it all changes, because you see that the world will respond to you differently. It'll just happen differently, naturally, as you see yourself differently.
That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that, because I think that even some of the choices I've made within the last year or so, since my practice has intensified a lot, has borne a fruit which is more pared down, right? Like you said, you get quieter, you get simpler. There's not as much chaos. There's not as much stuff going on, and in that sort of restraint, for lack of a better word, there is a little bit more, for me anyway, discerning. In terms of
recognition of the way things are, not the way we imagine they can be.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
And acceptance of that.
It's hard. It's very hard, because there's an aloneness that we have. It's not a loneliness, but it's an aloneness. And it's all the time. You were born alone, you eat your food alone, you go to sleep alone, you're going to die alone. There's never another person in there with you except yourself, your true self. And the more we look outside, the less we're going to find what we're really looking for. Once you find it there, you find it everywhere all the time.
Okay, that I might hold you to.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll buy some.
Right, we can bottle it. We can drink to it.
That'd be great. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah. Thank you.